Hello, everyone that has wandered into this stream. This is Jeremy Poindexter G, and we are doing a special stream here today. We've got a number of different things to talk about. We have Stars and Stripes, which is still in the plastic. Have not opened it up yet. So we're going to be taking a look at that. We're going to have a new game from Restoration that's going to be happening, which is like most of Restoration's new games, actually not a new game, but an old game that is going to be remade into a new game, and that is going to be the King's Gambit, or Lord of the Rings, the King's Gambit, which came from originally the Queen's Gambit, or Star Wars, the Queen's Gambit. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about on those. One thing that I've got to talk about here is that my channel has hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm at 1,000 subscribers now. I remember it seemed like a long time ago I made a 100 subscriber video, and a lot has happened since then. We've had a lot more Unmatched come out. I've expanded into a lot of other games, but quite a bit going on there since that. So just thank you, all of you, to help me get to 1,000 subscribers on my channel. Let's go ahead and talk about this Lord of the Rings thing. So let's go ahead and go to this screen right here, where we will have this nice press release from Restoration Games. So Restoration Games and Space Cowboys, which Space Cowboys seems to be a thing. I'm not sure what their connection to Asmodee is, but I'm looking at it there. They've been involved in a number of games, the biggest one being Splendor. I pulled my copy of Splendor off the shelf, and I was able to find the Space Cowboys listed on there, although Asmodee wasn't listed very prominently at her either, but I was able to find that. But they have announced a joint project to revive a beloved classic game, The Queen's Gambit, set in the world of the Lord of the Rings. That's right, they gave us this, and they gave us this little video bit here, a little video teaser. So yeah, and a lot of people saw that, and there's either two reactions that when people had when they saw that. They were either like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, it's happening, it's happening, or people are like, what was that? Is this like a chess game? I don't know what this is. Well, it's not a chess game. You can go ahead and look at what this is. This is going to be a recreation of Star Wars: The Queen's Gambit, although in here it just calls it The Queen's Gambit because they probably don't want to put Star Wars on it there. But basically, this game is going to have multiple different fields of play going on, where you get like the Riders of Rohan against the Orcs at Pelennor Field, the Gondorians, the forces at Minas Tirith, with like Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas moving away through Herodem and the great port of Peligir to the fight, and Frodo and Sam, of course, navigating their way through Mordor to the fires of Mount Doom. Game design is led by Rob Davio from Restoration Games, although he has done a lot of stuff before Restoration Games. I have a bunch of detailed figures fancy things. We're looking at restoration, doing a crowd-funded version of the game, and then Space Cowboy slash Asmodee handling the standard edition. And it seems like this is one that had been on their radar that Justin Jacobson and Rob Davio had wanted to do for a while. Rob having been involved in the design on the original Queen's Gambit. Now, taking a Star Wars themed game and remaking it into something else is not a new thing for restoration games. I mean, that's literally where Unmatched came from. This was originally Star Wars Epic Duels, and it got turned into this. I believe Rob having been involved in the design of that in its original incarnation. Just that these games here, Epic Duels, but in this case, Queen's Gambit has gotten really difficult to find. It was a really popular game, and the license ran out. Hasbro hasn't ever redone it. It was themed kind of around Episode 1, Phantom Menace, and we'll go take a look here at Board Game Geek where we can see all of this here. And like we said, Rob being one of the original designers of that, so he's kind of grabbing a game that he was involved with previously. We'll take a look at this here, the Queen's Gambit. Going on with that, and you can see all of these are just pictures that people have posted of it. There's a lot going on here. You got the different fields of battle. You've got the Queen's Palace there on Naboo. You can see there was multiple different places where you've got things going on. Gungans, everyone's storming the palace. You've got the Jedi fighting Darth Maul. You've got the starships, which are out there in the space battle, and this represented all of those battles that were going on simultaneously there at that climax of the Phantom Menace. So you can see this is going to have a lot of minis, a lot of different things going on at the same time. And they are just adapting this to Lord of the Rings. Now you know that this is not going to be just a retheme where they're not just taking it and doing a one-to-one retheme. It's going to have improvements made to it. There's going to be new things done that will make it better. They've got dice. There's so much going on in this game. And yeah, you can see a lot going on there with that. So they talked a little bit about it there. We know from Justin that we're looking at the retail version, probably coming somewhere under $100. The deluxe edition, the restoration we'll be putting out, that's not going to be cheap. He's already said it's not going to be cheap. So you're going to either want this or not. If this has been like a grail game for you to get the Queen's Gambit, then the King's Gambit will work. Of course, this is the King's Gambit because you don't have, a queen and, don't have a queen in Lord of the Rings. This is all going to be set within the Return of the King is going to be the story that this is all set with here, which is why you're seeing everything happening where it is there at the big climax of the film there. Or actually, the story. This isn't going to be based off of the films. This is going to be based off of the books. So it's going to be based off the books and like the artwork from the books. So anyway, this is going to be a really cool thing there. We're going to have to see what this looks like. We're going to be seeing more about that as it comes out. So let's go ahead and get to the other half of this, which is going to be Stars and Stripes. Yes, we have Stars and Stripes Unmatched. We see that we have 1 million unmatched sets sold worldwide. So a lot of these sold. This is great. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table here and get to this. So, Stars and Stripes, which we see has Wyatt Earp, Rosie the Riveter, John Henry, and George Washington. So let's quit yakking about this and actually get this guy open. $1 million. 1 million. Okay, Stars and Stripes. Start off with regular restoration games things. I don't know that this has changed any. It still looks like it has the same stuff for The Witcher. Deals to Amaze, Turtles, Dark Tower, Thunder Road, Crossbows and Catapults, and Dinosaur Tea Party. So trying to get a few of their other games going with this. Core rules, which everyone is going to be familiar with. These come in every set of Unmatched now, and the set rules, which are going to be for the specific set that you are looking at. So say a little bit about each of the fighters there. George Washington, Rosie the Riveter, John Henry, and Wyatt Earp. Got like all of the cardboard punch outs, stuff there, all this fun stuff. Yeah. And our maps. Our maps are going to be the Alamo. Hey, I remember that. Nice. And the White House. So these are fun. The White House has secret passages. One thing they didn't do in the set rules, they didn't explain the secret passages. I've been told that those are nowhere here in the package, which is unfortunate. They're usually a little better than that. They just missed it. All right, we got this here, and we've got little things here to mark each of them, a different icon to represent each of them. But let's look at these fighters here. So we're going to have Wyatt Earp. It's pretty cool there. Wyatt Earp. Let's get this on there, see if we can get that to grab it a little better. There we go. Wyatt Earp. George Washington. It's like a spy master, George Washington. We have John Henry as the iron driving man. And Rosie the Riveter, which is the crazy one in here because Rosie is Rosie the Riveter in a mech suit. Okay, this mech suit is pretty awesome looking. This is pretty cool. And of course, she's doing the Rosie the Riveter pose just in the mech suit. We're still going there. Okay, so let's go ahead and then we'll take a look at these sidekicks. Okay, the sidekick tokens have a little different look and feel to them. It's more rounded on the edges there. They're not, they don't have the hard, sharp edges that the others have. That's interesting. It's just a change from how things were done in the past. Just rounded edges on them. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. Let's look at Rosie the Riveter here, and I'm going to go into all of the fighters. later on at another time. I can never find edge on these things. There we go. So, Rosie the Riveter, if you're familiar with the original Rosie the Riveter art, which I can find that here. The Riveter, which art wasn't necessarily originally Rosie. It's a little complicated. I want the full poster, not just a partial. Find it. Here we go. We'll go to that. And yeah, there's the original Rosie the Riveter poster, which is what a lot of this art is based off of. So seeing that now, you can kind of see what's going on with this here with the We Can Do It. Rosie the Riveter in her mech suit. She's got these things that will upgrades that will come and go on it. But some pretty fun artwork on these. I mean, it's like a World War II mech suit. Of course, Rosie's sidekick is Wendy the Welder. Momentous shift. That's a nice momentous shift using Rosie and the mech. Arc welding. Loose lip sync ships. I'm glad to see that on there. That's a saying going back to that. Full metal. We Can Do It. Which is based off of that original poster. E Award. And D-Day, which I've already seen this art. I haven't seen like really up close looks at it here. I've seen it on other videos, and this is definitely the most like rah rah America artwork in the set is this one. And since it's D-Day, I don't think anyone really can complain about it there. It's fun to see that. Rosie's card comes with a thing to remind you how to do your upgrades. It's interesting they put that on a card. It's just interesting what they put on cards and what they don't sometimes. That seems like something that once you get it memorized isn't going to be hard to remember. Oh yeah, there's all the rivets. Oh, and the rivets look a little look like they may be a little different. They just had some changes into production on this set. Hey, and that could be okay. Nothing wrong with that. Just a few things that look a little different. John Henry, you remember if you are familiar with John Henry, the steel driving man. It's the story of the former slave who got the job driving the steel for the railroad. This is like a song folk story, and he saw that his job was going to be. They were talking about the fancy machine that was going to come out and was going to be able to drive steel better than a man. And John Henry went out and he beat that machine. He went out and he worked as hard as he could and managed to outdrive it. But in the process of outdriving it, it killed him. He died from being able to beat the machine. He's got these railroad tracks, which are down here, that he can lay out. And he's able to do fancy things, able to do stuff with those. We'll go into that on the actual videos, but we got like lots of hammers in here. Hear that cold steel ring. Some of these are straight up lines out of the song there. Striking fire, 9-pound hammer, 12-pound hammer, 18-pound hammer, power through, bring down the mountain. That's one of my favorite arts in here. Larger than life. This is like straight out of Bigfoot's deck here. Larger than life. Unmatched. Larger than life. Everyone always calls it a log. So I guess he's just got a. Here we go. Go here to the program view here and see larger than life and compare, John Henry's larger than life. It's pretty fun. Momentous shift, which is momentous shift with the hammer. Knock them silly. Cool drink of water. Anyway, once again, very nice cards there. John Henry's a solo fighter. We've got George Washington with his Culper spies, and this is going over the Culper spy ring that George Washington was very much involved with, and it's interesting, very interesting to go and look at what was going on with this. Historically Unmatched. It's a good channel there that goes over like what's going on with all the history of these different characters. He did a video on this explaining what was all going on with the Culper spy ring. It was really cool. They were just getting secrets from the British. British never figured out who it was that was in it. Everybody always just went by like code numbers, so they could never figure out who they were. Henry back there. He has these ruse tokens that he can use. And really, Washington's got some really awesome artwork in here. Join the ring. I mean, this is good stuff here. This is some of the best Feint art right there. I mean, for a common card, that's really awesome. Like, what all is going on with your friends, allies everywhere? Not friends everywhere. That's Andor. And yeah, I mean, just really good stuff here. I love misinformation. This is like, man, that is so good. Agent 711, gather information. Yeah, so this is good stuff here. Of course, he has his Culper spies to go with him. And lastly, we'll look at Wire Earp. Erpity Erp. Wyatt Earp, and you're going to look at this and see that this is very much inspired by the film Tombstone. Of course, Wyatt Earp with his sidekick, Doc Holliday. And we got some awesome looking artwork in here. Like, better swear me in. This is that card really goes hard there. Bring him to justice. You just gonna stand there and bleed? You die first. I mean, like, what's going on with it? It's like the hammer is, hitting the guy. Gunfight at the OK Corral. Okay, we're gonna talk about this in the Wyatt Earp video, but what this card does, this is one of the most insane cards ever and Unmatched. I love it. In Vino Veritas, which of course is a Doc Holliday card. You're a daisy if you do. I'm your huckleberry. I have 2 guns, one for each of you. And you see a lot of good cards there for for Doc. So he's got quite a bit that he can do. So yeah, gonna be a real fun set. Oh, and let's go ahead and take a look at the foils, because it came with foils. Since I got it through restoration, buy it through them, you can get it. There's other ways that you can get it. Well, the blue ribbon retailers can have them. Okay, we've got Washington's gather information. And sometimes it's hard to make these foils show up. You see what's going on there. You kind of got to turn it. 18-pound hammer from John Henry. The ring of fire there. You can do it, which is like this big holographic foil background on it. That's pretty wild. Honestly, that's really wild. I saw that this was going to be the foil card, and I didn't know what they were going to do on it, but that's pretty wild. And this one, yeah, we pretty well knew it was going to be the revolvers and the badge. Turn that off there. We knew it was going to be the revolvers and the badge. And we knew that's what those were going to be. Looks pretty cool. That's just a card saying he got it there. Really rosies with the background. I wasn't expecting it to be awesome with the background like that, but they haven't really done this on a foil, so that's something new. Yeah, those look really awesome. But anyway, each of these, what they got going on, Rosie has these different upgrades that she can do. They come and they go, and they give her different abilities. John Henry has these railroad tokens he can put down, and they go down over paths, over a path between spaces. And anytime he crosses over a path, space with a path, you don't count that. And that doesn't matter if he's maneuvering or moving by card effects or whatever. George Washington has the ruse tokens there, and some of his cards will have these effects that have a ruse by it. And whenever George Washington plays a card, he can play the attack card and then put down the ruse with it, and then the opponent can either discard a random card to get rid of that ruse token, or they can take it and just whatever effects happen. And of course, Washington can play cards without a ruse token that don't have a ruse effect with a ruse token. So it's kind of a mind game with him. And Wyatt Earp, you get the three things that he can do here. If he wins, if he attacks and wins combat, you draw a card, gain one free action to attack, or move your fighter up to one space. And he gets one of those. Once a turn, he gets to do one. Each of those three effects he can do once a turn. So it's he's going to be pretty crazy being able to combo and get a lot of good stuff there. So anyway, that's what we are looking at here with Stars and Stripes here. Just to give y'all a look at that. I know some of the different channels have been doing things with Stars and Stripes. We've had Captain Crockpot's been doing a lot on his channel, been streaming some games with him. He usually does Thursdays, so I don't know if he's got something scheduled today or not. But you can check on a lot of the others. Zero Skater, Dark Blade, Historically Unmatched, Tater Tots, a number of other ones on there that you can look at what they have put on there for this. So anyway, that's what is going on here with this game, Unmatched Stars and Stripes. And we got a little bit of information about the Lord of the Rings, the King's Gambit. So if you found this video interesting, you can give it a thumbs up and a like. you can go down to the comment section and let me know anything you think down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure you catch all the videos I post so you don't miss anything. This is Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you around next time.